Good morning, good afternoon, good evening. Whenever you're listening to this, beautiful people, welcome back to the House of Moody Vintage podcast. I'm sorry I got a little western or southern twang, last little flavor to my accent today. I got to be honest with you. Listen, look, man, I'm just going to, right off the bat, okay? Now, I am totally in a mode right now, okay? I'm a totally, completely zoned in mode, all right? I'm in the Western mode, all right? The Wild West mode, to be more specific. Why, you may ask? Well, we're going to get into that later, as usual. We talk about entertainment, media, the second half of the episode. But a little bit of disclaimer right here. I'm trying to lighten this up as much as possible because we're going to get into something serious. Okay? There is going to be a serious topic that I want to discuss. And so I just want a fair warning out there, okay? And then the reason why I've got this little accent going on right now, maybe it's not Southern, it's Texan, it's a slight difference when it comes to all that. But I am completely and just in the deep end, okay, when it comes to the Wild West. And you know what I'm talking about. I'm a huge fan, almost like I'm fangirling right now when it comes to Yellowstone. You know what I'm talking about. Taylor Sheridan's Yellowstone universe, going through the Dutton dynasty up in Montana. And I'm so much in love with it, and I do appreciate old westerns, from back in the day. But when it comes to showing off westerns in today's time and depicting modern, cowboy lifestyle, obviously it's not the same as it used to be, like the Wild West, but it's just something I really fancy, and Yellowstone's doing it for me, so much so, my friends. Last night I watched the Hateful Eight. That's right. That would be Quentin Tarantino's Hateful Eight, and by the way, that is, in my opinion, his most underrated film of all time, and that is in my top 3 Quentin Tarantino films of all time, The Hateful Eight. It's just something about the movie. I mean, maybe it is because it's the Wild West. It takes place in Wyoming, and a lot of that late 1800s time, place, and setting is just, I don't know, it just gets me going. And, of course, we're going to talk about 1923, which will be at, near the end of this episode, because we're going to try to get the serious topics out of the way first. And I'm so deep into it right now. I finally got around to getting Red Dead Redemption 2. Finally, I know it's been years. It's been years since it's been out, but I finally got it on my Xbox Series X, and just took it from there. And I've been playing it all along. I finally got something to do this holiday break, because all my Bangkok mains, the usual suspects, is no longer in town. They're all out of town. Everyone's abandoned me. God damn it! I'm here by my damn self. And listen, I can talk like this throughout the whole episode, but let's get back to where yours truly, Moody, does his thing. That went on for a while. I honestly could have done the whole damn episode with my Texan accent, my cowboy accent. Just for your information, I know Texas has got that. They're synonymous with cowboy lifestyle, but cowboys are all over the Midwest. All over the Midwest, up in the north, if you're a fan of Yellowstone like I am, you all know that's, there's cowboy life in North Dakota, South Dakota, Minnesota, and Montana, of course, is where Yellowstone takes place. But yeah, I'm so into it. I get obsessed, when it comes to historical things. I get fucking obsessed. Whether it's like, the roaring 20s and it's more about the, the city life in New York or in Paris, or the late 19th century, and we're talking about the Wild West. And of course, my favorite time period is usually centuries back, like ancient type of time period, because y'all know me. If y'all already know me, you know that I love my history. I'm a huge fan of history, and so I'm very much just in that mode right now. And it's perfect timing because it's the holidays. I'm not going anywhere. I'm fucking broke. Let's just say it. I'm broke, bro. I'm fucking broke. Okay? And I treated myself. But just like a little bit, not like something crazy expensive or nothing like that, but I'm like treating you, little bits and pieces, little things that matter, right? That's what I've been doing. Well, not doing, just recently did. Because I can't, like I said, I'm fucking broke. Can't go anywhere, can't do shit. Anyways, I gotta pay the bills, man. I gotta pay the bills. Hopefully, going into the new year, it's much better. We're always kind of hopeful, right? We want to be optimistic and hope that whatever is beyond the horizon is something good, something positive, and that's what I'm really hoping, that 2023 looks upwards, because I am on the tail end of completing a few things, a couple of things, and I'm very proud of myself. I gotta be honest with you. I don't really talk about it simply because I don't feel the need to talk about it. But I'm almost there. I'm almost towards the finish line. It's the final stretch. It's the final lap. So looking forward to that. I'll share that when I get there, I guess. I don't know, but just keep my head down doing my work. You know what I mean? So I know I try to keep it light in the beginning of this, because it's a topic that I want to talk about. I don't want to make it too serious and then get all like, angry about. I don't really get angry. I guess frustrated when it comes to certain things. And so what I wanted to talk about, okay, it's I like to entertain folks, of course, with this podcast here, but also this podcast is really, it's, things, my opinions, my perspectives on things, on life. It's not just about entertainment and media, also societal things, cultural things, and what we go through on a daily basis sort of thing, solutions to challenges and so on and so on. And something that came up, which is pretty crazy. I feel like it's okay. Before I go into this topic, I just, from the top, I just want to let folks know I'm not a professional. Okay. I only have done a certain amount of research on certain things. When it comes to this particular topic, I'm speaking out of this is my perspective, my opinion. How the things that I know is from experience, from the experience of others that I personally know, and these kind of things come from them, So when I say that I'm not a professional, psychologist or psychiatrist. I don't have a therapist, It's just things that, most of it is common sense, to be honest. And a lot of it is sort of like accumulation of things that you pick up from other professionals, from actual professionals, and you learn from there, or you read it somewhere, you read it in an article from a reputable source, those kind of things, those kind of research that the internet it makes available. So, but I did want to talk about this because it bothers the shit out of me, and I don't know why it continues to go on. I'm going to talk about two different things. I don't want to get into too in depth into it. I just want to really talk about like the main points about this particular topic. All right. So I don't want to go long winded or anything. I just want to get in there. Because again, I don't want to make this this episode too heavy. You know what I mean? But a lot of things it's a bothersome topic. You know what I mean? Topics, I should say. And one of them is I don't understand guys. I don't know if this is a generational thing. What I mean by generational thing, I don't mean that it's millennials are different from Gen Zers or whatever. It's not like that. I mean like it's passed down generationally, which I hope that's not the case, man. So it's very frustrating when I see young men, or I hear about young men, or I hear about just when I say young men, I'm talking about late teens to maybe, I don't know, early 30s, or just late teens to like until they're 30, I don't know, or early 30s. And I say that because usually it comes from that age range, where that challenging part comes into it. Excuse me. And so these two cases, not two cases, sorry. There's two topics. So the first one is basically about how some young men who just don't get it, don't understand when it comes to sexual intimacy. They don't really know how to separate their privilege and what it means, what it truly means when a woman says no. Okay? I mean, it should be obvious, it should be a given that consent is everything. Consent is everything. And it goes both ways. It's not just men and women. It's not just women. It's for both men and women, right? Consent goes both ways. If one person isn't feeling it, then, you can't go forward with it. You can't progress because this person is telling you, no, this isn't going to happen. Okay. When it comes to intimacy, when it comes to sex. And I feel sometimes, and again, this is from like very close people in my life who have gone through this. It feels like they find themselves, when I say they, I'm talking about the women in my life. They feel like they're the ones to blame, which is, it's like, that should be your first, like, sort of the number one thing in that situation where you disregard in the sense that it's not really anyone's fault, right? It's definitely not the woman's fault. You know what I mean? When they feel like, this, the person that they're seeing wants a certain something, they're not able to give it to them, right? The woman isn't able to give it to the male or whoever it is, whatever gender it is. And they feel like it's their fault because they're going through their own shit. They're going through their own struggles and things like that. But it's like, if you're not feeling it, you're not feeling it, and you shouldn't, I don't think you should force yourself to be in a, let's say, compromising situation or unfavorable situation, right? If you're ready for it, you're ready for it. If you're not, you're not. There's no shades of gray there, really. You know what I mean? And guys, young men, you need to be very careful here, and you need to understand when a woman says no, there's nothing beyond that. It's just no, this young lady or this lady or young lady, woman, whoever you're dating or you're seeing and you're pursuing and you want to be with or whatever, when a woman tells you no, she does not owe you an explanation. If she gives you one, great, but you should be grateful for it. If she just simply gives you a brief, without, elaborating on that certain situation, whatever issue she's going through, she doesn't owe you that. You're not owed anything let's be real. You're not owed anything, right? So when a woman doesn't want to talk about it, she just gives you the answer saying, hey, no, this is why, and I don't want to get into it, but I'm just not feeling it, or I'm not ready to do it. I'm not ready to go forward, because you as a dude, most likely, not obviously, generalization here, most likely, you don't know what she's going through or what she has gone through, what traumas she's still dealing with, right? And I'm saying this because, again, this is out of experience. Where my partner wasn't necessarily, I'm sorry, let me just quickly with context here, okay? So I was in a relationship, and I was going through my own sort of like, there was this mental blockage, it had nothing to do with trauma or anything like that, but there were some other mental I guess barriers that I had to overcome, right? And I wasn't ready to take the intimacy to the next level because I had issues with whatever the hell I was going through at the time. And instantly, and what surprised me was instantly the girl right? My girlfriend at the time, well, actually, this happened more than once. You know, my girlfriends at the time thought there was something wrong with them because I didn't want to have, I didn't want to get, sexually intimate, right? And my immediate thing was like, what? That's weird. Why would you think that? That it's because of you, I don't want to do this right now. No. And, of course, obviously I had to clarify, like, no, listen, it's me. I was going through some shit right now, whatever. But it's not a forever thing. It's just, I'm trying to process this, right? Because for me, for those who don't already know, I don't know if I mentioned it on a podcast or something, but my friends know, I can't get intimate with somebody unless I'm emotionally connected to that person. So I'm not a one night stand kind of person. I know I've mentioned that before. So if I am to be, sexually active with someone, I have to emotionally connect with you, or it's not gonna happen. It can't just be just a physical thing. So anyway, so I went through this a couple of times in past relationships where, I just, at the first attempt at doing so, I wasn't mentally prepared. You know what I mean? Like there was mental blockage, which of course, if, you got shit going up there, the physicality things is not gonna, sink in. So that's what happened. And it happened to me a couple times, you know what I mean? But, again, like I said, after the first attempt, it was, I sort of got sort of overcame whatever mental situation, whatever mental hurdle I was trying to get over. And then I progressed, and then I moved forward, and then we moved forward, and everything was fine. And then, they were sort of, my girlfriends at the time were, at ease, thinking, oh, okay, good. Thank goodness it wasn't me, But I get that. I totally understand that as well. It's an insecurity I think we all have, because if we feel like we're not attractive enough, or physically attractive, or we're not emotionally connecting, we're not the chemistry isn't there, or our chemistry and compatibility aren't aligning, all those things. There's a lot of nuance behind it, right? So, but now when it comes to back to, these young men who just don't get it, who don't see, it's not even about getting mixed signals or seeing red flags. It's when a woman literally tells you, no, this isn't happening, right? And just to reiterate here, if she's, again, you're not owed an explanation. If she gives you an explanation, fine, that's great, grateful. Don't push it. Don't push the subject, man. She's not ready. Everything is a process in life. Some things take longer. And most of the time, most likely, you don't know what trauma she's dealing with. You don't know what type of experiences she's had, and she's trying to process all that. It's still she's still progressing, right? She's going forward in her own pace, right? So she's trying to get over whatever challenges, mental blocks that she's having, right? Most of the time. So, and even if you do understand where she's coming from, right? Because you may, if you still don't understand, even after she's given you an explanation without going into details or elaborating more onto of her experience or of her trauma, and you still can't understand, yet you might have yourself, right? You yourself might have had trauma in the past. You yourself might have had, a lot of, or had mental blocks or some kind of, unfortunate experiences. And if you still can't understand where she's coming from, even though you've had trauma, that's just basically, you haven't dealt with your own, right? You haven't dealt with your own trauma. You haven't dealt with your own issues that hasn't been addressed, you know what I mean? Let alone dealt with, you know what I mean? To see a professional, right? So I just find it difficult. It's very odd to me that guys still don't get it. I was fortunate enough where, I mean, I have always said this, and I will always stand by this. Women are emotionally superior, in my opinion. Women are emotionally superior to men, in my opinion. That's just the way I think. Not just think, but also this is what I've experienced. Okay, so I was fortunate to, when I had those, mental hurdles that I had to jump over with my ex-girlfriends, they understood. Understood to a certain extent. Like, okay, he's not into it right now. I'm not going to push it. There was never forcing and all that stuff. And that should never be the case for either side, either party, right? If you're in a relationship. And I understand the frustration, right? I understand the frustration if someone is teasing you, when it comes to sex, when that person is sort of leading you on, giving you type of mixed signals, and that can get a little tricky and that can get a little challenging. But what it isn't challenging, what isn't, shades of gray, is when you have a clear sign of, okay, she may be teasing, but she still hasn't said yes yet, right? So even after she has given you an explanation, right, and told you, or not even an explanation, it's just simply told you, listen, dude, I'm not ready for this. There's still a lot of challenges there that I need to deal with and head on. But this isn't happening, right? This isn't happening. Even after she has told you this, don't feel like that's a season pass for you. Do you get what I'm saying? If she gives you an explanation and you feel as, okay, cool, thank you for telling me and being honest. All right, now let's do it. Nah, bruh. When she means no, she means no. It doesn't mean you get a season pass. You come back, next week, to ride the roller coaster at the theme park. You know what I mean? No entry. It's not happening. Okay, just make her feel comfortable and secure. I don't understand. You know what I mean? Like, and I get it. Listen, when it comes to relationships, sex is an important thing, but sex is not the make or break. It should never be make or break. And I know everyone's different. They have their own situations. They have their own struggles. People have issues when it comes to sex, like whether, there's an addiction or those who simply can't perform. And, there's a lot of other problems. I get that, right? But commonly, like, most of the time, that's what it is, right? In a normal, I don't want to say normal, but in an average relationship, right? Sex is an important component of a successful relationship. Okay, we can get that out of there. But if one individual is not on the same page, bro, that's just not on the same page. She's just not gonna want it, And if you force this topic, it gets even, you know what I mean? It's more of a turnoff. So I think, it's just, I don't know what it is. And then you come back, and then guys will come back and try to, act like they understand and all that stuff. And, well, you should have done it in the first place, bro. You should have done it in the first place when clearly this woman has told you this ain't happening, right? And this has happened so many times with my female friends, with the close friends in my life. So many times. It's happened recently. It's happened in the past. And I know it's going to happen again. You know what I mean? So I will tell, if you are a young lady right now who's going through something similar, all I want to say is, do not feel you owe anything to anybody. Do not feel guilty because you're unable to, perform a certain task. You know what I mean? You are going through your own trauma, or trying to resolve the past issues that you've had in relationships. And I think you should continue to work on them, but go at your own pace, not too slow, don't be like, oh, I'm just going to put that in the back of my mind and forget about it. And I don't worry about it, because you leave it there. It's going to rot in the background, and it's going to make your future relationships even worse. You know what I mean? You're going to project old shit onto your new relationships. I know, I've been there. I've experienced that where, my, a significant other was projecting a lot of her past traumas and past issues. And it's happened multiple times with different women. So just, it's a very sensitive topic, but also I don't see any gray areas when it comes to that. When a woman says no, she says no, dude. All right? Show her affection, show her love in other ways, and communication is key, right? So when a woman says no, she says no, but hey, we can do this or we can do that. All right, cool. Whatever makes you feel comfortable, whatever makes you feel secure, I will do. And I will be there for you. I will listen. I will talk. I will communicate. That is so fucking key when it comes to that, especially when it comes to sex, especially when it comes to people who are dealing with a lot of issues that they're trying to tackle mentally, emotionally, physically. It takes time, man. There's a lot of trauma there. That trauma's fucked up. And you have to sympathize, you have to empathize in those kind of situations, Anyways, I just wanted to talk. I went on for too long on that topic, but way too long. Wow. I wanted to talk about something else. I don't want to go too in depth into it, but again, it's just back to back, like very serious topics. But just recently, of course, Twitch, right? A very famous professional dancer, who's of course a DJ on the Ellen Show and so on. It's just, man, I don't know, man. I don't even know what to say anymore nowadays. It's like, even now in a time where people are more open about their, mental health, and we're always advocating for mental health, reach out, talk to people, whoever it is, if it's a professional, someone, a friend that you need, or someone who's a complete stranger, and it feels like the stranger is, you feel comfortable with the stranger, or acquaintance or person, whoever the person is, doesn't matter. It doesn't have to be a fucking stranger. Preferably don't make it a stranger, of course. You really truly want to feel comfortable and want to feel secure. And I've told this, I've shared this on Instagram as well. I've had people in the past, people who I know, who have literally have talked out of, committing, taking their own lives. And I don't ever want to be in that position again, because it sucks. And I've had people who I don't know who have reached out, and they've had issues and things like that, and I've sort of tried to give them what I know. Again, I told them, and I've always made very clear, I'm not a professional, but here's what you can do, this and that, and usually it's directing people to, hey, get some professional help. You need someone who's professional you can talk to, these sort of things. Or if you just need someone to hear out, someone to just, lend them their ears, to lend you them their ears, sorry. And just talk and just reach out. And even though I'm like low key, I'm like very, keeping to myself at the moment, I'm in a hermit mode. That doesn't mean that you can't reach out to me. So again, reach out to me on Instagram and IG, whatever. Just hit me on my beeper. People in the 90s will understand what I just meant by saying beeper. Anyways, so yeah, it's just sad. Like, it's just that these things are still going on, and these celebrities who are still going on, and I don't know, man. It's just, you sit there and you think, man, why? You know what I mean? You see them live these wonderful lives, and dancing and singing and just having a good time, and always positive and all this stuff. And they're smiling and things like that. And then whatever it is, man, something triggers it, and something, just all of what they have in life is just not enough. And then they just, they commit to something that we don't want them to commit to, and we lose them forever. And, it's just, Jason David Frank, not too long. I think it's been over a month or so. The Green Ranger, who was iconic for us back in the day in the 90s and early, well, no, it was the 90s. It was the 90s for people in their 30s. We grew up watching Power Rangers or something like that. But like, we knew who the Green Ranger was. You know what I mean? And then later on turned to be the White Ranger and so on. And he was iconic, right? Jason David Frank was iconic, as Tommy. You know what I mean? And similar to him, going through something similar, taking his own life. It's just, I don't know what it is, dude. Even now that we're more open about mental health and, getting professional help and actually talking to people about it. There's promotions on, BetterHelp, all these apps and services and places you can call, people you can call, whether it's on the phone or online or on WhatsApp or whatever whatever type of communication, whatever type of platform there is, there's so much help out there still. And still people just keep that shit inside them, and something just disconnects. And, it's, they've made the decision. It's crazy. I don't know. I don't have the answer for it. That's for damn sure. And it just feels like one of those inevitable things. Like, it's just going to happen. And they say that, check on your strong friends, right? I assure you, I am not one of those strong friends you need to check on. I'm fine. Honestly, of course, I've gone through depression and all that stuff, but I've never, ever in my life had a single suicidal thought. So don't worry about me. I'm good. And plus, I always have my close friends check up on me anyway. They, whatever, randomly they check up on me, especially when I go silent, But that is a good point, though. Like, there's a lot of people like me, like, for example, right now, I have my reasons. I won't talk about it, but, I'm laying low right now. I'm not really caring too much on social media. And the only reason I'll go on social media tonight is basically to promote the podcast, to, just post that, hey, a new episode is up, whatever. That's it. But I'm not really gonna go around. I'm still talking to people, still messaging, but people who I, who are obviously close to me, things like that. But yeah, I'm just laying low. I can disconnect. I'm capable of disconnecting. Thank goodness. But yeah, it's just it's crazy. A lot of that has to do with the current situation in my life, and just the whole mental issues and things like that, and the very close women in my life going through certain struggles. And I don't like that. I don't know what it is. Maybe it's just since I was a kid, ever since I've seen my own mother struggle, through life on certain things. And it pains me. It really does when I see the people I love and care for go through struggle. You know what I mean? And I mean, like, real struggle, like real fucking blood, sweat, and tears kind of shit. You know what I mean? And yeah, it saddens me. It really does. I got my own shit. It's more like a frustrating kind of thing rather than being sad about it and stuff like that. And no, I'm not seeing a therapist. I know people like, you should get a therapist. You should get a therapist. I don't know. I'm still dealing with that right now. Okay. Whether I want to commit myself to that. But again, I'm not one of those strong friends you need to check up on. I'm perfectly fine. Okay. All right. So with that said, man, I don't know, dude, but still just whether it's a friend, whether it's a close friend, family, whoever it is, an acquaintance of yours, just check up on them, man. Just say what's up. That's it. Just say what's up. Hey, what's been going on? Haven't heard from you in a while. Or, hey, what you doing? You good? Just quick checkup. You good? You good? You sure you good? All right, good, man. Hey, let's hang out, or let's do this, or hey, you don't even necessarily hang out. Just be like, hey, just, update each other on each other's lives. It's good. It's nice, just tap into that. And I do that all year round with people I love and care about. So, yeah, just do that, man. It's all about love, man. It's all about love. Peace, positivity, and love. You know how I do it. Anyway, so talking about peace, positivity, and love, we're going to move into the next segment, okay, real quick. We're going to do the recommendation of the week. Before I get into that, though, because, just dropped, I think, yesterday, the behind the scenes, and I think you could call it a teaser trailer to Tom Cruise's, mission, the new Mission Impossible and 9. Wait, is this the 8th one? No, this is the 8th one. Wow, I just jumped to 9. Oh, I'll tell you why I jumped to 9, because this is Mission Impossible Dead Reckoning Part 1. Oh my God, Becky. Tom Cruise is fucking, like, he's out of his fucking mind. He's like 60-something fucking years old, and he's jumping off of fucking cliffs. Like, are you fucking crazy? Like, Tom, stop it, okay? More and more, I'm beginning to think that maybe that Scientology shit works. I don't know. I'm just saying. He's still alive. And Tom Cruise listen, I love him. He's my favorite actor of all time. He's, because he just has, to me, he just has the full package, right? And this guy, I mean, I don't want him to get hurt, man. I think he's essentially the only last standing movie star, like superstar movie star in the world. Don't at me with that Shah Rukh Khan shit, bro. I don't see Shah Rukh doing his own fucking stunts. All right? Suck on that, Shah Rukh fans. No, I love Shah Rukh, but I mean, Tom Cruise. Nobody tops Tom Cruise, bro. He's the last. Like he's that guy. He's that Hollywood superstar that we don't have anymore. He's like the only guy where you would want to go watch a movie because it's fucking Tom Cruise. Not because of this director or, this cast or, this writer and production level of this and this franchise and that franchise. No, it's Tom Cruise. Tom Cruise puts butts in seats. No one can do that anymore and actually be successful. Key word, to actually be successful, to have box office hits like Tom Cruise. I'm spitting bars right now, fam. Oh yeah, sorry, I got a little excited there. Anyways, yeah, if you haven't seen the trailer, it's fucking. The teaser. I can't wait for the trailer. It looks amazing. The teaser looked fucking amazing, and of course, behind the scenes of that stunt, which is ridiculous. Anyway, so back on Paramount Plus, ladies and gentlemen, we're still back in the Dutton Dynasty, generation after generation, 1923, the series premiere of 1923. It premiered on Sunday, this past Sunday, starring, of course, Harrison Ford, Helen Mirren, Timothy Dalton. Timothy Dalton we haven't seen yet, but it's only the first episode, and a few other fantastic actors who I've never seen perform. I don't know, some of them are probably their first project, or maybe their second or third project, something like that. Anyways, wonderful performances. The first episode was awesome. I mean, awesome. I might be biased because, Yellowstone, what I'm saying? The Yellowstone universe by Mr. Taylor Sheridan, tearing it up. And this is about a new generation of Duttons making a life for themselves in Montana in the time of Western expansion, Prohibition, and the Great Depression. So that's going to be dope. And it's an origin story, technically. It's a prequel, obviously. This takes place after, obviously, the first prequel was 1883. This is 1923. They're going by threes, and I'm loving it. So this is in the first. I'm reading this off IMDb right now, which I usually don't do. IMDb is just whatever. It has the general information, and under our take is in the first Yellowstone prequel, 1883, viewers were treated to the story of James and Margaret Dutton and how they ended up settling in the Montana countryside. Now, series creator Taylor Sheridan, who is he's a television master right now, is delivering a sequel to that prequel with 1923. Harrison Ford and Helen Mirren will take over playing the Duttons in their elder years at the end of World War I and the dawn of Prohibition. The star-studded cast also includes Robert Patrick, Timothy Dalton, and Jerome Flynn. Jerome Flynn, of course, you guys probably know Game of Thrones. And so, yeah, there's a lot of. I love the first episode because I think, and hopefully we see more of this, but I'm not really sure because of what happened at the end of episode 1. But we saw life in Montana, in the States, and then we also saw life in Africa. I'm not going to get into spoilers because if you're thinking about watching it, watch it. I highly recommend watching Yellowstone. I highly recommend watching 1883 and now 1923. What a way to kick off this series. And of course, it's only one season. It's sort of like it's not an anthology, but in that form, it's a limited series. And it's a prequel. But this is amazing. I'm just so in love with this world right now. And Taylor Sheridan has just the universe that he's created, and I know it's not fantastical or sci-fi or anything like that, because a lot of it is based on it's reality. A lot of it is reality back in the day, in the 1800s, now in the 1920s or early 1920s, and that's what makes it even better. The drama better, the performances better, the life of how things were back in the days for cowboys, for Native Americans, and the sort of like the political intrigue and sort of the way of life and battling, different cultures and trying to, coexist and all these things. It's just so beautiful. Watch it, okay? Highly recommend it. Please watch it. 1923. It's on Paramount Plus. If you don't have Paramount Plus, well, you already know what to do. Anyways, I'm not going to get into that. Anyways, ladies and gentlemen, that's going to do it for me here. I apologize for those heavy topics today, very heavy topics. I apologize, but it's something I want to talk about, and I think it's very important to share. And, just to make people understand situations a little better. You know what I mean? And to read the room, basically. Read the fucking room. Guys, please. That's a do for me, man. I'm excited for the holiday break. Of course, there's going to be another episode the next week. It's going to be a post-Christmas episode. So obviously, I'm going to do the well wishes here. Please have a wonderful Christmas, happy holidays, and New Year's isn't here yet, so there will be a pre-New Year's episode, to bring the end of 2022. Anyways, until next time, please take care of yourselves. Please take care of yourselves, okay? And reach out when you need help, please. There's no shame in behind getting help, please. And treat yourselves, which I'm trying to do, which is something that I was told by a very close friend today to do. And I'm like, okay, you know what? Maybe I will treat myself. But, little things, small things. Okay. I love you all. Thank you for listening or watching, of course, on YouTube. If you're listening on Spotify and Apple Podcasts. Until next week, man, just have a good one. Have a good one. I'll see you next time. All right. See you around the ranch. All right. Bring the family. I'm out of here. Peace.